Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, goalies. So, we know what time of the year it is. We know what days are approaching. The holidays are coming. I mean, first of all, let's talk about how fast this year went past because I don't know if it got something to do, it got a book calendar, or what it is, but the year is clearly moving out the way and on a mission. So, as we go into these holidays, a lot of times, we got to come in, deal with these family members, deal with the crazy things they might have to say. And we want to protect our peace, but sometimes you might have to have a clapback. So, we're going to talk today about holiday clapbacks, okay, and boundaries. And that goes for your energy as well as your budget. Let's talk about it. All right. So, as I was about to say, my lights just flickered and I don't know what was going to happen. And like before I could even really get it out that the lights just flickered, the internet went out. So my apologies. Life be lifing. That's one thing it's going to keep doing. But I have company. So as I do sometimes, I bring people to come and we're going to talk about these holiday clapbacks and boundaries and how to handle them. So I'm going to bring up my guests. Hi, Darla.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm glad to be back. Doing well. Hopefully we get to, have no more technical difficulties. We shall see. But thank you for coming. Can you tell us who you are?
I just realized I didn't put my lipstick on. It's
I
okay.
didn't, I don't either.
Dang. Hi, everybody. I am
We
Dr.
keep it
Darla.
real on this channel anyway.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's true. Okay, good. So you get, look at this beautiful skin. Look at this beautiful skin. You get the beautiful skin today. So I'm Dr. Darla Bishop, and I wrote the book, How to Afford Everything. I'm on a mission to help 10,000 people learn how to afford everything.
let's go. So, holiday clapbacks. I mean, and I don't know how much experience you might have with this particular topic, but I know I definitely have some experience with this specific topic. And just to like to put it, I'm a single woman, you know, not married. So, you get the questions, you get the questions. So you got to learn how to deal with them. But for me, as I have grown, I will say, I want to deal with them without disrupting my blood pressure.
True. True.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing I won't bringing up my blood pressure is the hams and yams. I don't want, the people bringing the blood pressure up. So, I mean, let's dive right into it.
Let's do it. So the interesting thing about this is like I always have the best clapbacks like after the facts.
Yeah.
Like, dang, I should have said this.
Oh man, let him say it again. I'm ready.
Yeah. But it's okay. But I'm really good at helping people strategize. So so I'm good that I get to do that today. Because we're gonna strategize. We're getting ahead of it.
Oh, yes, we are. Because I mean, it's next week. It kicks off next week.
That's right. Some people are already doing family stuff this weekend.
Agreed.
So, one of the things that you say is, money is a form of self-care, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so when you're around relatives with varying degrees of intimacy and closeness and likability, you can love somebody and not like them very much.
Very true. And honestly, that happens a lot with family as a whole because you don't choose who your blood relatives are.
You don't. And so, like, and then these sensitive topics, because they're your family, they're like, oh, well, I can ask you or say whatever I want. Especially, and as I get older, I recognize that I have a lot less of a filter. And so I'm like, okay, they just can't help themselves. And maybe if I gently correct or readjust them, my next little cousin or the random stranger in the grocery store might not have to deal with this. Maybe I can turn them around a little bit. Just this is going to be my public service.
Making the sacrifices for the family, breaking the generational curses one at a time.
So one of my favorite things, so I am married and I now have a couple of kids, but I was married for a few years before we had kids. So people always want to ask, so when y'all gonna have some babies? So that question is wrought with so many possible issues, right?
It really is.
First of all, you don't know what's happening with our health. My health, their health, our health together.
For all you know, we could have been trying to have a baby.
Right. And like, you gonna bring this up over to him? Like, come on now. You couldn't text me about this?
Boy, my mac and cheese touching my sweet potatoes because you asking me questions like what? Like,
why you all in my uterus?
I'm not even in that frame of mind right now. I came to have fun with family. I came to enjoy myself. This is a break. I get an extra day off work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And you don't know the state of our relationship.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You're hitting it on the head right there.
Right? We might have put it together because it's the holiday season, but you don't know.
Look, y'all could have put it together in the driveway. Don't you go ahead and embarrass me.
And you don't know our money. Like, I don't know if you know.
That's another good one.
I don't know if you know, but daycare, summer camp, nanny, babysitter. So I just named hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay.
Literally. So my daughter is 23. Okay. So when my daughter was in daycare was high. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to know Like that's one of
Oh,
the reasons I
but
don't have
I feel like
children.
I gotta tell you though. I gotta tell you, I spend about almost $70,000, somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000 a year on childcare.
Wow.
That's a decent household salary.
That's a decent household salary. That's somebody 4-year degree. Let's talk about what that is. That's 2 cars for the household. That's a down payment on a very nice house. Technically, like it depending on what market, you could go buy like
Buy a
2.
little house.
Yeah, go buy a couple of houses. That's a decent amount of money. That's a decent.
Now, I'm on the high end because I have extra support because of our lifestyle. So like I could probably cut that in not quite half. Like I could probably get by like about 60% of what I'm spending. But I have a happy life and my hair is long and my skin is clear and my credit's good. So we're just gonna stay where we at.
Exactly, because you got to do what's best for you and your household. So as it stands, it's the 70,000. Like it is what it is because that's what your budget has for your child care. That's a lot of money, and you want me you putting in on this?
But can I get the child support now?
Right? You got 5,000 on it, like
Right.
so. That's the thing I think that they don't really consider. Like you talking about, oh, you having children, you're having children. Are you watching them? Will you be babysitting? When I'm tired, I got 5 bags under my eyes because I ain't really got any sleep. I need a break. I'm ready to put my hair out, and I just need a moment to have an adult conversation. Will you be there? Will you be there? You're not. Most case scenario, the person asking that question is not. So you came in swinging, but it's really true. Like you said, you don't know what state our relationship is in. You don't know where our finances are, which to me, those are 2 very crucial questions that should be addressed before you talk about us bringing a child into this environment. Because think about it. If neither one of those things are together and I bring a child into this environment, I don't. So
Yeah. And so there's a few ways. So I kind of want to do like low, medium, high spice, right?
okay, let's go. Let's
Low,
go. Hold
so
on.
low, medium, high spice. Low would probably be like when someone brings it up is if you can pull them to the side, be like, hey, can't talk to you in the kitchen and say, hey, that's a really sensitive topic. And so I don't want to discuss it at dinner. We can talk about it at a different time. So like, that way you weren't rude, you weren't, you pulled them aside. And then because you pulled them aside and say, hey, that's a sensitive topic, maybe they'll get the hint to mind they dang on business.
And I feel like that's still very nice because you're still open to discuss it with them. You just said you don't want to discuss it right now. So I think that's being very nice. That's compromising. That's being very fair. It's mediating the situation very well. I think that's a great suggestion if you're open to talking about it, but not right now.
Medium spice would be something like, ooh, thank you so much for asking. When are you having your next baby? Turn it around.
Exactly. And it like even if you don't even want to have it like have any spice, you can be like, oh, are you having one? Like, oh, you thinking about having one too? Like, is that why you asking me essentially? Like, because you're having one? Especially if it's somebody older. I think that's a very valid, like, because you know that they're probably not. But it's like, so why you over here, sis? Or bruh? Okay, so next.
Okay, high spice.
Let's go.
High spice. Okay, so this one, you got to be careful who you serve this one to because you not too grown to get slapped if it's the right person in your family. So you got to be careful with this one. But so this one, you can go pull out your phone and you say, I'm pulling up maps because I'm really trying to see where is your business. Make sure you outside of arm reach though.
Correct. Exactly. You might want to do it depending, like you say, depending on who it is and how long their limbs are. You might want to, but it's like I'm trying to figure out what it got to do with you. And it's like to me, I do understand that some people, like you say, you get older, you lose your filter as you go. I definitely lose my filter as I get older, absolutely. But I still try to maintain a level of respect for others. even though my filter is gone, because that's who I am. I'm that. Even my mom would say, "Girl, you just," but I don't disrespect people. I'm just a person who will say things that probably most of the time people are like, well, they were thinking it, but they really didn't feel like saying it, or they were more apprehensive of saying it. I'm the one who will say it, but I won't say it with an attitude or anything like that. I'll say it just the way I'm talking right now, real matter of fact, and it'll just come out my mouth like boop, 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 and it'll like, did she just say what? And I'll move, keep like, because it's just me being me. You know what I'm saying? It's not even me trying to be smart. So I understand that some, our elders, they're used to being able to just like ask what they want to ask, talk about what they want to talk about, and do what they want. But it's like, it has to be, like you said, somebody has to stop the buck. At some point, it has to like wheel it in that it's not okay to ask people that.
And like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they don't be playing. Like they'll be like, no, we're not talking about. They'll step in over you, even if you was open to answer. They'll be like, grandma, auntie, you don't say
Why
stuff
are
like
you
that.
even asking her that?
Right. That's none of your business. And you should really be like, okay, it's fine. I remember we were at a baby shower, actually. It was a co-ed baby shower. And one of my friends from college, who I hadn't seen in a while, was like, oh my gosh, like, it's so good to see you. When are you guys going to have a baby? And I didn't realize, but the look on everybody else's face told me that I corrected her a little harshly.
Hey.
But she caught me in the moment. I said, Diana, I haven't seen you in about 6 years. You know what? I wasn't gonna say her real name, but she getting her a real name today. Diana, I haven't seen you in about 6 years. The first thing you think to ask me is when I'm having a baby? Like, not how my marriage is doing, not how I saw you got into grad school, not how's work, not what city do you even live in now? You went straight to my uterus? She said, well, I just thought of it because we're in a baby shower. I said, well, let's focus on celebrating the baby we know is coming.
Right. The one we know about. Yeah, so I was laughing because the fact that you called her by her name while you was like you was talking to her, like, I don't know. I think that sometimes things become the normal, and as we go on, it just becomes a norm for us. So we conform to it, or we just deal with it and get used to it. And honestly, it bothers us. We probably thinking about it months later after that holiday, or it's stressing us out. So it's important to start, like you said, if you determine the spice level, like I like the way she put it, you determine the spice level to your clapback. But we about protecting our peace. It's enough stuff out here in the world coming for our peace. It's enough stuff out here in the world disturbing our peace. We got to protect it. That's just where we at with it. And I think that this is something that, I don't know, it should be talking more about it. So let's kind of on the same subject, but moving into boundaries. So all of this to me is boundaries. It's creating boundaries. It's letting people know what questions they can ask you. It's letting people know if you're going to sit there and let them say what they want to say to you and you not say anything. All of those things relate to boundaries. And boundaries is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. Like, and to me, that's all year round. That's not even only around the holidays. But we're just talking about the holidays today.
Yeah, and the thing about boundaries is like you can't make people respect them, but what you can do is you can remove yourself from situations around people and places that are unable to or unwilling to respect your boundaries.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that that's because at the end of the day, you can't control another adult. Can't control a grown person. You can't make them do what you want them to do, but you can control how you deal with it. You can control if you continue to be in their presence. Because I'm a good person for it. If you don't respect my boundaries, I'm gonna let you know. But if I find that you don't care about me letting you know, I'm gonna disappear. And you're gonna wonder about what happened to me and where I go, and why we don't talk no more, and why you don't hear from me. And that's gonna be why, because you don't know how to respect my boundaries. So I can't control you respecting them. And that gets a little hard, I feel like, at the holiday season, because you going home for the holidays, you're gonna see all the family, the ones that respect your boundaries and the ones who don't.
And I mean, depending on how big the celebration is, sometimes there are still ways to keep some physical distance, right?
Mhm.
Like which part of the table you sit at,
Mhm.
which room you sit in for the after dinner conversation, which cousins you go to the car with or not. Like so there's still some ways to do it, even if you have to be around or will be around the people who are a little more like harder to keep in where you want them to be.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's also important too because some of us, it depends on different people how they grew up and how things were, but sometimes you have that cousin that maybe they kind of bullied you when you were younger, or maybe you all didn't have such a good conversation or relationship when you were younger, and now it's the holidays and you got to be back. And like you said, choose where you want to sit. Choose which area. You don't have to sit by them. You don't have to accept whatever invite they give you, because a lot of times that person forgets all about that and get amnesia by the time they get an adult. By the time they get an adult, they don't remember the stuff they used to do, because whatever the reason was they used to do it doesn't even exist anymore. But like you said, choose where you sit. You don't have to sit by them. They ask you to go to the store with them. You don't got to go to the store. You busy. You don't feel like it. Whatever it might be. You don't have to like explain all of your feelings, but protect your peace in the sense of don't go to the store with them, and you don't want to go run to the store with them. Things like you said, like you have ways to build your protective boundary about around yourself, even though you're at the house with family.
And there are some people who you might feel it is worth like doing the work of being like, hey, I don't know if you know this,
Yeah.
but here's what needs to happen for us to have a good time together. Because maybe you're having a good time, but I'm not. And like I'm here for a good time and a long time. So like get it together, right? And so like the holidays are a harder time to do that because everybody's
Yeah,
around. And so
that was
if
my
there
point.
is so if there is somebody in your life where like during the holidays they kind of push some buttons or cross those lines, make it a point in January and February to go out with them, to have that, to make a phone call, because then maybe the next set of holidays will go smoother, especially if it's a relationship that you value and want to be better, right? Because the like you said, that person might have no idea that they made your life a living hell when y'all were little, right? They were just having fun. Oh, it's my little cousin,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you telling them in a way the same, like, here's, I want it to be better. What can we do? Something you also got to take some responsibility in that if that's what you want.
You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. Um, and so I think that boundaries also goes for how much responsibility you take on for the holidays.
And how much money you're going to spend. I
You
just got
already
a
know that was
text.
next. You already know that was next. You knew that was next.
Yeah. I just got a text from a friend of mine who said, okay, it's almost Christmas, but one of my, we'll say nieces has a birthday too. And
Mm.
I asked her parent what I should get her. And they sent me the link to a $420 book set.
What kind
I
of books
said,
are these?
so, okay. So I said, because me, I was like, show me, I need to see the books.
Send me the link.
So it was a full like set of like phonics books with games and puppets and activities,
Mhm.
and it broke it down so that it was the whole set was 420, but it was a three-piece set. So the parent was asking for the one of the three pieces, which runs about 155. So still not a little tiny amount of money, especially for
Oh,
a young child, and
yeah.
especially right before Christmas, where we got travel and extra meals and gifts and on top of our regular obligations. And
Even if
so she
you
was,
don't do gifts, the food, the cost of cooking is very expensive.
yeah. And so she was like, "What do I do? Because this is ridiculous. This is just
You
like
buy
this is
one
out."
book out the set is what you do. You buy one book.
Right. I was like, I literally said, I said, can you get the baby some Dr. Seuss books? Because I here go a Dr. Seuss set for like $26. Can the baby read Dr. Seuss?
Or I'm gonna take that set you sent me. I'm gonna buy a couple of the books that go in the set without buying a full set. So I still got you the subject matter that you wanted out of the books. But I'm not spending 155 if that doesn't match in my budget. Now, if it's in your budget, you got it like that, your emergency fund, banging, you that's your decision to make. But for me, 155 is not in my, I don't even have to look.
Right. So here's what we came up with. We came with a couple of options, right? And
Mhm.
like remember that it doesn't have to always be a no off the top, that you can get super creative about these things. So I was like, well, don't you have some other siblings? Like, what if y'all went in on the set, right? Like, so that maybe you put in 45 and everybody else put in 45.
Mhm.
The other option that we came up with is like the grandparents. The grandparents like spending money, especially on educational stuff. So can
Mhm.
we say, grandparents, did you know that little grandchild wants this set? Because maybe they'll just do the whole thing. The other thing is like this website does offer gift cards, so you can purchase a gift card from that website that then the parent can use towards it, or we can go get the $26 Dr. Seuss set. And if there are questions about it, you can be like, hey, that just didn't fit in our budget, especially right before the holidays. And so
Right.
I hope she'll love her gift.
Exactly. And honestly, if it becomes more about, oh, well, you didn't get the expensive gift, then it wasn't about what it was supposed to be in the first place. Because it's supposed to be about the thought that you got the child a gift, you got them something they'll enjoy, something for them, but it doesn't need to be the expensive gift. If it's not in your budget, it's not in your budget.
And, and I didn't ask, and I meant to ask her, like, well, how exactly was it presented? Because how you ask the question
Facts.
matters, right? Because did you ask what does she want, or what's a good idea, or what is she into? Because those might all solicit slightly different answers.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got the response, was it like, oh, I've been looking at this gift set, by the way, or was it like this only? Like, because those things matter too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely they matter. It's a big part of it because like that's kind of where I was leading to when I'm saying like if they mad because you didn't get this exact gift, then there's bigger fish to fry and other conversations to be had. So yeah, that's the same that you got to look at the intent, I guess you could say would be the best.
Yeah.
Look at the intent. And I think that sometimes we have a habit of taking on more. We just say yes to the holidays without doing an inventory of everything that we've said yes to. Wallet wise, time wise, energy wise. You know what I mean? Like,
That's the one.
going
Because
like this.
like one of the things that I want to make sure people do, and like I had to like put my phone down for this, because you have to manage your time, energy, and money, and they all feed into one another, right?
Mhm.
And as you're thinking about the holidays, and we're not quite there yet, we're not to Thanksgiving yet, so you still got time to do this. I
Thanks.
want you to like literally make a list, because what you write, your brain processes better. So like literally make a list with paper and something to write with, of the people who are kind of on your list to give something to or to spend time with. And I want you to make a list next to their name. Know if you're planning to spend money, spend time, spend energy, or some combination of those. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see us all make, not only at the holidays, but it's a little bit heavier at the holidays, is we spend money on people when really they just wanted our time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or worse, we spend our time on people that would have been totally happy or satisfied with a small token or gift of appreciation and love.
I want to add another one to that. We fail to communicate when we can't deliver what we committed to when they would have been totally okay with it if they had known that it was something you wasn't able to do. They were okay with it because you said you was going to do it. You offered to do it. It was fine. But you never communicated like, you know what? Things have changed. I didn't know this big old project was going to hit me at work. Like now I got to do this. Now I'm getting pulled in all these different directions and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it anymore. I think that's something we fail to do too. Like communication, like, look, I know I said I was going to, it's not looking good. And it's not too late to change your mind, but you got to open your mouth and say something.
Really, and I can't. I don't think anybody in the family will ever forget. One of my cousins was in charge of the mac and cheese, and usually he makes delicious mac and cheese. He really does. He usually makes really good mac and
I'm the
cheese, which
mac
is
and cheese person.
why he was in charge of it, right? But I don't know what happened. Do you know Dog brought 2 pans of Stouffer's mac and cheese? This was a decade ago, and
Never.
nobody is letting it
I
go.
don't even know him, and I ain't letting it down. If I ever meet him, man, really?
Really? And like, of course, everybody was like, all you had to do was call, text, stop by, knock on the door, because yeah, we like your mac and cheese, but we like everybody's mac and cheese better than
And not
Stouffer's.
only that, I was gonna say, for the sanctity and the sacredness of the holiday mac and cheese, that's something you had to communicate.
We could have solved this problem, sir.
Yes, you cannot be out here bringing us no damn Stouffer's mac and cheese. That's something you had to communicate. I don't even know the man. He'll never live it down with me either. Because how, Sway?
Yeah, it was all
Stouffer's?
Stouffer's, and then it wasn't even cooked right.
And did he have at least something to explain himself why he didn't say no?
You know, it was just, and like, even if he, and the crazy thing is, even if he did, nobody was taken. They were like
They don't care.
they were like, all you had to do was tell any one of us. And we might have talked about you about how at the last minute we had to go and get all the stuff for the mac and cheese, and that was your job. But we're gonna talk about you a lot worse over these two
A
little
lot
pans
worse. A lot
of
worse.
soupy mac and cheese, which is fine for your little kids on a random Tuesday night.
Correct. With some hot dogs or some chicken fingers.
But like at the family dinner,
Really? And even on a holiday?
on a holiday.
This the only time we get together and do this, and this the memory you're gonna give me for my holiday? Like, yes, sir. So this is why. So learn. Don't be like him. Learn from his mistakes. Communicate. Communicate. Let people know. And so a lot of people, they have a tendency, they want to take on much. You know, some people, they really have the intent and they really want to do it. But you got to realize when you can't. Boundaries are the best gift you can give yourself for the holidays.
And really, part of it is like, so many of us don't do a good job of managing our own calendar.
Oh,
and right, like, we just don't, for all types of reasons, because maybe at work we have it together because it's real nice, it's in Outlook, it's in Teams, whatever. But then when you layer the family stuff on top of it, it's not as clear. And so, like, one of the things that I always tell people to do when we're talking about money any time of the year, but especially this time of year, is like, I need you to pull out a calendar, print one off if you don't have a paper calendar. Like, write down all the things you have for work, write down all the family dinners or things you've been invited to, and write it down, even if you don't plan to go, just so you know which day it was, in case the person's like, hey, are you coming? And you're not like, wait, what is that? What are you even talking to me about? And if you have kids, write down all the things that are coming up with the kids. Are they having a Christmas pageant? Are they having a play? Are they having a school party? Are they having a gift exchange? When is the last day of school? Do you got to pick them up early? Like, are they having a pajama day? Like, some of that stuff is published. And so, like, write it down somewhere. And so, especially if you can see it for the whole month, then you get a sense of like, oh, it's too much on my plate. What can I cancel? What can I delay? What can I move? Who can get a Kwanzaa present? Because then it's going to be half off.
Hey, Nia means, I don't know if you know, but Nia means purpose.
Yes, right? Like, who can get a Kwanzaa present? Like, who can I see after the 27th so they get this half off joint?
And so, on that topic for a minute, me personally, I feel like in some instances it's better to do that. Like you said, you can get it cheaper, especially if you're not going to see them till after the holiday anyway. It's no rush to hurry up and have to get it. I feel like society has a lot of people thinking like, oh, I got to do it all by Christmas. I got to do it all by Christmas. And it's like, we're grown. We're adults. Now, the children, yes. Children might be, okay, yes, get all the children their things by the holidays so they can have that experience. But for the older people, I doubt. Maybe some. I'm not gonna say, but I doubt. Oh, you gonna get this to me on the 27th? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I thought we was better than that. Like, it's not gonna be that. So don't put that heavy pressure on yourself to feel like you got to do it by that time, because it's gonna be cheaper for you anyway. It's gonna be less people because you're not gonna have all the crazy crowded stores. They still might be a little crowded, but not like they will be those few days before the holidays. And I think that's another point too. when you're talking about budgeting your time, energy, and your money. Don't wait till the last minute to do your holiday shopping.
Unless it was on purpose, right? Like if the last minute is actually like after the minute, then
Yes,
that's good.
which that's different. That's not even last minute. The
That's right.
holidays don't.
That's right.
But yeah, don't wait till the last minute. Like plan it out. And honestly, I plan for after the holidays because sometimes that works out better. When I was like 16, I used to work at Walgreens, and they would have like those holiday sets.
Yes, the perfume.
Correct. And they put all the decorations on it. And so because it's quote unquote holiday, after Christmas, it will go on sale. Baby, my auntie, that's when she would go shopping every year for the next year. She'll be like, because my name is Zania, so they call me ZZ. Well, she called me ZZ. She's like, hey, what set y'all got on sale? Let me know when they're 75% off. Like, she would do it every single year, and she would buy people gifts for the next year.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's been running joke. It's been running joke. It's like, just for that, I'm like, you say something smart to her, y'all joking around during the year. She'll be like, just for that, I'm not giving you enough for Christmas. I'm like, you bought it 4 months ago.
Right.
What you gonna do? The return policy is over. It's like, that used to be our running joke with her because we know you got them already. You can't take them back now.
The other thing is like, I think one of the things people forget is, how much money is caught up in gift cards?
Yep.
Millions of dollars.
There. Yes, agreed. That's
there.
A good
and
one.
So controversial, possibly unpopular opinion, but one of the things I'm gonna say is if you get a gift card during the holiday season, spend it right away. And in fact, use it for some of those people who you're getting gifts for after the holiday, because
that's not coming out your budget. That money
for 2 reasons. It's not coming out your budget, and you don't end up losing, forgetting about, not at all taking advantage of the fact that you have a gift card. Because depending on what kind of gift card it is, some of those things lose their value. So you find it 6 months later and somehow it's lost $10 off of it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So it's 6:10 already. Let's get into the final topic of the hour, which is we're going to talk about money.
We've been talking about money the whole time.
I know. That's why I'm like, let's get into talking about money, because it's so many parts about the holidays that put so much pressure on your money. It's the food. It's how many dishes you make. You might say, oh, I'm going to just make mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is a bit like real homemade mac and cheese is a very expensive dish to make. Like, bruh, it's expensive. And when you buy all them cheeses and all the ingredients you got to get, it becomes very expensive. Some dishes are very expensive. So consider that when you're deciding what you're going to bring for the holidays. What does your wallet say? And it's not a sense of a pride or ego. It's literally, what does your wallet say you can afford? Because you can pick a dish that might be a little cheaper. Maybe you can get the ham, throw a couple pineapples on it, put it in the oven. That's going to be way cheaper than making some homemade mac and cheese.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, my favorite thing to bring to any potluck is turkey, because let me tell you why.
I think we talked about this.
Every year I get a free turkey. I got a free turkey waiting for me right now. So guess what I'm taking to the potluck? And people be so impressed, like, wow, you brought the turkey? Sure did.
Yep.
Cost me nothing.
And you take all them thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I do what I can.
Wow, the turkey. Oh, it's so delicious. It's so juicy. Because I also have a very particular way I make my turkey. And so I'm kind of picky about my turkey. So it solves 2 problems. The turkey is how I like it, and people are mad impressed that I brought the main meat.
Exactly.
And it cost me
win-win. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody that has to know. Nobody knows how you acquired or how you got these things. So being mindful of that. Being mindful with gifts. I know we have, you want to get these certain things and you have the pressure and the kids want this new toy and want that new thing. I'm a firm believer in giving gifts all year, to be honest. Like, I do random things throughout the year. I don't necessarily stick to, oh, well, this is your birthday, I have to do something only on this day. I do things for people in my circle all year round. Just random acts of kindness or random things that I see. But some people don't, that's not their philosophy, and that's not your philosophy. That's okay. But I just don't think that it's healthy for your wallet or yourself to put the pressure of, like, you got to get everybody the newest things. As we go into 2025, we don't know what this economy is about to look like. We don't know what effects different things are going to have on the cost of goods that we already have to buy. and we got to kind of prepare for it and be mindful of it.
Yeah, and on top of that too, like the thing about it is it's important to also know the people in your life because some people it's really important that you celebrate their birthday on their
Yeah,
birthday. It's
exactly.
really important that you celebrate that holiday on the holiday.
Hmm.
But the other people who don't care, use that to your advantage.
Like me,
Okay?
I could care less. You could give me a Christmas gift in March for St. Patrick's Day. I would not care less. You didn't have to buy me anything.
Mhm.
You could have gave me a happy and kept it moving.
Yep.
You
And
know.
like and remember, like in even the end of the year giving, like this is a thing because generosity is one of my core values. And so like I try to remind people that like generosity isn't only money,
Mm-mm.
that you can be generous with so many other things. Like, so if there are organizations that you really care about and want to support, but maybe your money is funny right now, or you just have too many obligations, or you're looking forward to 2025 and want to make sure you're starting the year off strong, remember that you can commit to giving time next year. You can commit to doing things for the organization. Like maybe they don't have a staff person who's really good at writing proposals or making connections or updating website, and those are skills you have. Like
Mm-hmm.
commit to doing those things and keep your money in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about being creative. It's about being more mindful, and it's about you are the person who you're trying to protect. And it's not saying protect like somebody's trying to harm you, but we realize the mental effects and the mental stress and the mental like pressure that you end up dealing with. So you got your credit cards, you run your credit cards up trying to keep up with all these different obligations during the holiday, spend the whole year working overtime, picking up side gigs, doing all these things to pay these credit cards off, only to get back to the holiday season and run them right back up. So it's a vicious cycle that I've seen before. And it's like, it doesn't have to be. So we're just giving you some ways to be more creative, think outside the box in the way that you handle it so that you can walk into January not super stressful. Like January is financial wellness month. It's a reason because people come out the holidays super stressed. They come out with their finances in shamble, but a lot of it is based on pressures that have been put on them from the holidays. That and
And
not saying it don't have to be put on them, but you can get a better control of how you manage it. Is really what we want.
for sure. And one of the things we didn't talk about explicitly is like if you are parenting school age kids, remember them babies gonna be home and they school stomachs not the same as they home stomachs.
That's another
And
good one.
so each like every week as you're leading into that longer break between Christmas and the New Year, like make sure you got snacks in the
And
pantry.
so I
Feel like I
got
need
you one
to.
better. In Georgia, they get a fall break too. In Georgia, they get a fall break and they in November, and then they get their Christmas break, the 2 weeks. So technically that's 3 weeks out total.
Yep. So make a plan. Like, are you meal prepping? Are they eating sandwiches? Are they going to daycare? You got somebody babysitting. You got one of the stay at home parents watching all the kids. You throwing them some money. Like, make a plan for that because I know like that temporary childcare for us always ends up being super expensive
Yeah, all
because
the
we still got to go to
electricity
work.
and all the electricity they're gonna use while they're at home, all the water they're gonna use that they typically wouldn't be using. You all remember we're not far from the summer. We're not far from the summer. You remember that week before school, they was out of whatever program they was in, getting ready to go to school. Like it definitely, that's a very good point. It gets real. Hmm.
Yep. So make a plan because otherwise January 5th, you're gonna be like, oh, I can't wait to take these kids back to they real mama, the teacher.
The way people worked when the pandemic first hit, and the people and the kids went home, and they're like man, like I remember seeing all the comments of people like, "Oh my gosh!" So I think that's a very good point that we didn't touch on, but it's a very so. Let's just recap. You got the extra expenses for children if you have children at home. That's lights, gas, food, because they eat every 2 hours. Because they at home, so they always got to go in the refrigerator. You got the extra cost if you're doing any type of cooking or preparation, like holiday meals. Even if you're doing a small holiday meal at home for your family, it's still going to cost. Everything is more expensive. Then you got gift giving. You might have travel. Like, I'm on 6 fingers, bro. It's a big strain on your finances, and it's important for you to protect your wallet, because if you don't, who will? And they're not trying to. They're just asking you to do like that's we just been rooted in the traditions and things that we have and that you're used to doing and they've been doing for a while. And it's just important to be like, okay, yeah, no, I can't do it this year. Yeah, I'm gonna have to opt out this year.
To try something different, like to be like, oh, this year we're actually going to do this instead.
So what me and my family, oh, go ahead, I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say what me and my family did is we don't cook traditional dinners for the holidays no more. So we cook other meals that, one, they're smaller typically. So they're not as many dishes. Because let's think about like the regular traditional holiday meal, baby. Like you said, you got chicken, turkey, ham. You got like 5 different sides. You know what I mean? 5 different desserts. We cooked barbecue one year. We've done what else do we do? We've done barbecue. Like we're doing a brunch for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
So we always pick, like we started this, I'm going to say maybe 3 to 4 years. And me and my cousin, we get together, we pick a menu and we do like a potluck thing. We delegate. Okay, you bringing this, you bringing this. I call my daughter. Okay, you bringing this. I tell my dad, you bringing this. You know what I'm saying? We delegate who's bringing what, even with the smaller meal. So it ends up being each person is bringing 1 or 2 things. Very minimal, very budget mindful. And we have a good time. We laugh. The food tastes good because we're together. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we started doing. And it works because nobody in the kitchen for 18 hours. Nobody spent a mortgage on the meal. And it spreads the responsibility around.
Really good.
That's what we started doing years ago, and it has been working well. And we get excited, like, okay, ooh, what we had our brunch menu for last Thanksgiving. We was like, okay, we doing brunch next year. Like that's how excited we be about what menu we gonna do. So it's become an activity to do together.
And I mean, it might be too late to do this, but last year there was a little drama in the family, and I wasn't in it, but I also was trying to stay out of it. And so I was like telling my husband, like, oh, I don't know how we're going to do Thanksgiving because these two are not getting along. And like, so do we pick this side or pick this side? I don't want to pick no sides. It's not my issue. But and they need a little more time to work it out. And my husband was like, well, don't we got some points? What if we just like go somewhere? So we went to Mexico last Thanksgiving.
I'm all for that.
We were like opting out of the drama. So we went to Mexico.
Even if not opting out of the drama, it is so relaxed. So I'm from Chicago, where it's typically cold, it's snowy, it gets very cold in Chicago, and we used to go to Belize pre-pandemic. We stopped during the pandemic, but pre-pandemic, every year for Christmas and New Year's, we would spend it there. To be somewhere hot, baby, to me, take all them gifts, but I like hot weather though. So it's like, again, it's always back to self and being self-aware of yourself. But I think that was a great idea. Shout out to him. That was a great idea. I'm sure y'all had an amazing time, and y'all.
The kids still asking, "Can we go back to Mexico?"
Exactly. Good. So everybody had a great time. I love it. Like, to me, it's what works for you. And so that's the level I'm at this point in my life. I don't care if it offends other people. That's where I'm at. And sometimes it takes time for you to get to that point. But that's where I'm at. I don't care. Like, not being rude. I'm not gonna, start no mess. But I'm not interested in harming myself to appease somebody else. I'm more interested in protecting my peace. And if it does offend somebody else, me protecting my peace, I'm open to have a conversation about it, but I'm not gonna feel guilty about it.
And when it comes to the gift giving part, like remind them babies and anybody else who needs to know, Jesus got 3 gifts. 3. So anything more than that, you doing real good.
But even with 3 gifts, some of these gifts they want, you'd be like, you want what? Huh? Well, who? Each gift $500. Girl, like teenagers?
Oh, really? Okay, see, my kids are so little
So
that
girl,
they
like
still
teenagers
asking for
be wanting
stuff.
like PS5s and
Oh, that costs like
um
$600, I think.
yeah, they be wanting like expensive stuff. So they might get one gift. Like you get something like that, like you say, team effort. We gonna collectively come together as a family. Shoot. But yeah, teenagers be wanting expensive gifts, man.
Oh, okay, okay. I guess that's good that for me to know that. Because I'm so in I got a 4 and a 6-year-old, so I'm so in
That's
deep in the parenting that
yeah.
like I can't even imagine a future that's different because we're just so deep in it. But all year, when we're in the store, one of the things I do with the kids is I say, okay, we're in the store for trash bags and light bulbs. Okay, we remind and like, oh, help me remember. We're here for trash bags and light bulbs. Okay, mommy, trash bags and light bulbs. So when we go to the store, oh, can I have this toy?
Is that a
Like,
trash bag or a light bulb?
but what did we come to the store for? Oh, can you help me remember? Trash bags and light bulbs. Right. So let's get the trash bags and light bulbs. We came to the store for trash bags and light bulbs. We didn't come here for today, but let's pay attention. How much does it cost? Okay. Do you know how much you have in your piggy bank? Okay. Did you bring any money from your piggy bank? Oh, you didn't? Okay. I don't think we can get it today, but let's go get the trash bags and light bulbs. And so my mother-in-law, like she was watching the kids and she texted me, she said, oh, I can take your kids anywhere. I told them we weren't getting something. They said, oh, okay. They didn't fight. They didn't argue. They just said, oh, okay. I said, oh, yeah, I've been training them all year.
Yeah, you got them used to they not, and so let's get on that conversation before we get out of here, because that's something that I think a lot of parents don't realize. You set yourself up. You set yourself up for destruction when you never tell them no. And it's not to say like don't spoil your kids and treat your kids good, but it's a matter of like you let them know that every time you ask for something, they're not gonna get it. So they don't grow up with that as a habit. Every time they lose their phone, I don't have $1,500 to keep replacing this next iPhone because you lost your phone. I like I'm trying. Is it like where am I supposed to be getting this money from? So when you consistently do that and just replace it, it creates that ideology that so I just tell them and they give me another one. It don't work like that. Like
that. And you don't have to be mean or
oh
cruel or
no
negative
meanness.
or even like you ain't even got to be like, nah, we ain't got it, or we'll have money
No.
for that, or we can't afford that. No, you can be real fun, real sing-songy, real like, but that's not what we came to the store for. Right? Like so we're here for light bulbs.
Exactly. It's nothing mean about it. You don't have to be rude. It's nothing like that. It's just creating the intention and it's setting a standard. And believe it or not, it's setting a boundary for you and your wallet in the future.
Oh yeah, all the time. Because really, 9 times out of 10, when I tell my kids no, like oh no, they're like okay. They kind of like after they might ask a second time just to make
Because they
sure,
children,
but
yeah.
but then they drop it. They're like oh okay, that's fine.
Because they used to not always getting what they want. If
And
every
they
time
might and they got and we always got McDonald's money, so like don't worry about that. But no, we are not getting a 700 stuffy. You got 6 stuffed unicorns. Like we don't need another one.
but this one's blue.
Dark blue.
Right. I don't have a dark blue one though, mommy. Like kids be funny. Kids are hilarious. And the one thing about small kids like they got short attention span.
Yeah, so you can get them to the next thing.
Divert their attention into something completely different, and they'll give them time, they'll forget all about it.
I'll be messing that one up though. My husband be so mad at me because like a few minutes will pass and I'll be like, wait, what were you asking me about? And he'll be like, they didn't forgot. Why you bring it up?
Right. Why are you reminding them?
I'm like, sorry, I didn't know we were done with that. My bad.
They didn't say nothing about it. You done. Like, let it go, let it be. But yeah, thank you so much because it's rounding out to be 6:30, and I feel like we could be on here talking forever about this. But just to recap, we're gonna go back and go through some things. And the moral of the story is just protecting your peace. And so, yes, clap back, but we don't mean clap back like go in there blazing, shooting, shots fired on everybody. Like you see some of them, I know you've seen those videos online before, and it's like, oh yeah, but your husband, Like, we're not talking about them type of clapbacks. We're talking about clapbacks that protect your peace. And she gave different. So Darla came to us today. She gave us different levels of spice that you can add to it. She gave us ways that you can do it that will still be tactful, but it'll still get your point across. We talked about protecting yourself with your time and energy as far as taking on new tasks, signing up to make all these different dishes. It communicated when you can't. Or even maybe you intended on doing something and you can no longer do it. Just being honest and upfront, like, look, it ain't gonna work. Because the reality is somebody gonna find out eventually when you can't do it. Just like that Stouffer's. But she came and she dropped some gems. If you don't follow her now, I think you should. So can you let them know where you at, what you do? And she got a book, y'all. So if you could give me the link to the book.
Yes, come find me at howtoaffordeverything.com. And for those of you who need a little bit more fortification on your way into holiday dinner, I'm actually launching a free FREE, no money, 4-day challenge. We start on Sunday. Go to howtoaffordeverything.com, sign up, and each day you'll get a task, a small, simple task to do leading into Thanksgiving dinner, so that you are ready for whatever conversations come up. You have a plan for the holidays, and you can go through the holidays feeling super good financially, emotionally, so that it can just be one of the best years yet.
So what we will do is make sure in the description, we'll put the link to her website in the description. So even after this, if you watching this and it's past the challenge is over, you still can find out what she have, check out her book. But after that, we're going to sign off for today. We thank you guys so much for listening in. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you type replay in the chat. And if you have questions, ask them. I'm going to also put a link to her Instagram so that if you want to go follow her over there, you can follow her over there also. I want to thank you for coming, and I appreciate your time. We could have talked forever.
I know, we were just chilling. I didn't even realize we were at time. I was like, oh, we're just kicking it.
Yeah, so thank you so much, and we'll be out. We'll catch you on the next video.
Talk to you soon.